I've been rooting for this guy for quite some time, but who doesn't root for Brad Tavares, who has clearly at this point accepted the gatekeeper status? He says, gatekeeper or not, I don't care what label, I'm going in there, I'm going to fight. They think they're going to beat me, they're going to lose. AJ, we have another case of, we have a fighter in Gregory Rodrigues who we know has every single tool in the toolbox to be able to get the victory here, but oftentimes he chooses not to use it, which is when he gets knocked out. So, what do you think? Does RoboCop use all of his tools and put himself in a position to, control this fight, get a win right here against Tavares? Or do we see a Rock'em Sock'em Robots type fight? Because these are two guys who are not going to step away from the center of that pocket and bring it, bro. What do you think?
I'm all about the latter on this one, Derek. I mean, that's literally my first note about Gregory Rodrigues. You never know what kind of performance you're going to get out of him. This dude's a veteran. I mean, and same thing goes for Brad Tavares. You said gatekeeper earlier, but he's really growing into that veteran status. But man, if RoboCop can put the game plan together, get this fight to the ground, control Tavares, he's going to look good. But it's weird because on that other hand, Derek, RoboCop can fight a standing toe-to-toe brawl and do very, very well. We've seen him have the power in his hands. We've seen him knock people out. The question is, how does Tavares' chin hold up, man? Because, yeah, has he been knocked out before? Yes, it was by Bruno Silva a couple fights ago. Can it happen again? Yes, and that's what makes this so exciting for me because RoboCop, you love to see him. Like I said, you're a big backer. Man, I got to back him on this one fight too, Derek, because he has the potential to fight this fight wherever it goes and do very, very well.
And it's almost like he needs the wake-up call. Every so many fights, he loses, gets knocked out, and he's like, all right, let me get back to the jiu-jitsu. He is a grappler, first and foremost, who fell in love with the hands, right? But you look at the Dennis Tululin fight. Well, what does he do? He's able to get the finish on the ground. How do we set it up? We get the takedown, we bring him down, drop some elbows, get the knockout. Cool, probably could have submitted him as well. Brad Tavares, very tough customer when it comes down to being finished. Again, you mentioned, yeah, you got finished by Bruno Silva. He's a crusher, like 20 straight knockouts or whatever the case may be, something crazy. And then you got Edmund Shabazian, the golden boy, who hit him, I think it was a head kick or something like that. Let me see, was that right? It was a head kick, yes, absolutely. So let's look into the money. Gregory Rodrigues, minus 250. I'm not upset at that price. I'm not saying that that's a lovely price that I would like to pay, but it makes sense to me. I'm not disputing that price. So when I say, all right, I like the price, I don't really like taking a shot on the underdog Brad Tavares here at plus 205, but I want to talk about these props right here. Rodrigues can knock him out. He could submit him. Really interesting. Plus 850 for the submission. Given that Brad Tavares, don't believe he has been submitted in his last 10 fights. Nope, doesn't look like it. So what prop do you like right here, man? Do you like a decision? Is Tavares tough enough to be able to go to a decision with RoboCop? Because if he does, it better be a war like the Chidi and Jaquani fight or something like that.
I mean, is he tough? Is Tavares tough enough to go the distance? Absolutely, Derek. There's no doubt in the Hawaiian heart right there. My big question, I'm looking at these props right here. Plus 200 TKO, plus 850 for the submission. Those are nice numbers, but Brad Tavares is a dog and very, very hard to finish. Like you said, hasn't been submitted in his last 10. Can RoboCop get it done? It's probably why the number's so high. I actually, Derek, like that plus 160 decision just because both of these guys are very, very stubborn in getting finished. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys do not want to go there. They're willing to play the game, but also, they could put together a sleeper of a fight where we just see them kind of filling each other out. I don't think it's going to go that way, but I do like the decision right here.
Do we smash that plus 160 decision prop for Gregory Rodrigues? That's a Bloody Water Podcast consensus pick right there, because I'm taking a look at the over and under, minus 140 for over 2.5 rounds, via the odds makers. So when we're looking for some juice, plus 160 for a decision versus minus money for 2.5 rounds, I think that I'm heavily inclined. I might have to take a play on that. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. If you're not going to take the play on the plus 160 decision, definitely take it on the over money. Because, I mean, that's how I see this fight going with how gritty both of these fighters are.
All right. Should be pretty straightforward. You have two veterans at this point right here, but you have one dude who I am convinced, if it weren't for a loss here, a loss there, Gregory Rodrigues would have been in the top 15 already. This dude is ready for top 15 opposition, in my opinion. But we'll see what Brad Tavares brings to the table. Always going to be a good fight.